Hi everybody, and welcome to my weekly moment of reflection. My name is Mandy Cran, and today I'm going to be talking about selling and buying and what they actually really mean, because it might not be quite what you think. So I've been doing these moments of reflection for about 4 years now, and my goal with them really is to help people see the world in a different perspective, because so often we go through life with sort of blinkers down either side, and it's just because we're busy and there's lots of stuff to get done, and so we just focus on what we need to get done in that moment. So what I'm really trying to do is to help you see things perhaps from the side or from a completely different direction, and just see the world a bit differently. Because so often I see people not really achieve their full potential. And sometimes it just needs that stepping outside where they are at the moment, stepping outside the box a bit and see things differently. So that's really what I'm trying to achieve. As we go through, please do like and be delighted if you share. I've only just started doing these, so the more that I can get them out there, that would be absolutely wonderful. Do feel free to ask questions as I go through. I probably won't have the time to actually answer the question while I'm talking, because obviously we are live, but I will come back to you as soon as possible afterwards and answer them. So today we're talking about selling and buying. And notice that I put them in that order, not buying and selling, and that will become obvious as we go through. Now, when most of us think of sales, we think of a salesman, we think of somebody with a smart suit, who's got a very good way with words, who manages somehow to trick you into buying stuff that you don't really want, you certainly don't need, and you'd much rather spend the money on something else that's more important to you. And so sales has got a bad name over the years, and rightly so in many ways in the last 50 years or so. But I think we need to look at sales a bit differently, because if we go back to the origin of the word sale, or to sell, it comes from the Old English word, which is sellan. And that actually means to give, to lend, or to supply. And that's a very, very different space to be in. So if somebody has a problem, and you can help them, so perhaps you can give them the right advice, you can give them the right solution, or if you can't give them the right solution, you know somebody who can give them the right solution. If somebody's a lot of pain, they need a new bed, for their back, and you haven't got that, somebody who has, and they'll be immensely grateful to you for actually giving them the solution to their problem. And perhaps we can supply the answer to people. Sometimes we can give them helpful advice, and this is without spending any money whatsoever. This is not about an exchange of money. This is purely about giving something for free. But if you can supply the right advice or the right contact details, whatever, they'll be immensely grateful to you. And it might even be that you need to lend them something to try, and then they'll decide whether they want to buy it or not. So the word to sell actually has a very different meaning from what it's developed into the last 50 years. And the thing is that, everybody hates salesmen. A lot of people say, oh, I'd hate to be in sales. But actually, we're in sales every single day of our life. It doesn't matter whether you're in a job interview and you're selling yourself effectively to the company to say, actually, I'd be a really good person to be in the company, I'd really compliment the company, or whether you're selling the idea to your children that vegetables are a really good idea and they're really good for their health. Both of those are sales in the sense that I'm thinking of. It's about supplying them with the right answer and what they really need. It's not about an exchange of money at all. And sell never was actually designed to be that. It's only got to say misused in the last 50 years. So actually, we're all in sales all the time, and we need to get very comfortable with that. But if we understand the true definition about giving or lending or supplying, not about an exchange of money, then perhaps we see it in a different light and be far more relaxed about it. If we then look at the word to buy, again, that comes from the Old English biken, and that means to exchange for money. And that is actually the end of the process. And that's why I said at the beginning, selling and buying, not buying and selling, because actually the selling comes first, the information exchange, the giving and so on. And then the buying is at the end of the process, where you may or may not actually exchange it for money. And we do need to keep the two very, very separate. And I'm actually a great believer in the old version. I think that's what selling does actually mean. And an awful lot of things that I do in my business where I do not get any money for it at all, and that's absolutely fine, because I want to give and to help people. So, for example, I do a weekly health tip, which just goes out on the social media and by email, and it's completely free advice. Anybody can access this. It doesn't have to be a customer. It's about the giving people things to make them healthier, hopefully without spending any money, which I think is really, really important. So, I like to turn these things around and look at it from another perspective. So if you're talking to somebody who has their own business, so let's say a friend of yours has started a business, when they start to tell you about it, don't assume that they're going immediately for the buy, because actually they'll have started their business because they've got a real passion in it. They'll want to help people with something. Again, but it doesn't matter whether they want to sell duck eggs or they want to, or breed ducks because they love ducks, whatever it might be, or help you with their health. They will have a genuine passion for what they're doing and a passion that they can help people have a better life in some way or another. So they will want to give you advice. They'll want to help you. They'll want to supply you with information about what they do. And don't necessarily assume, because often they will not actually be looking for the buying part at all, not for the exchange of money. But if you have a really good conversation with them and assume they're coming from a good place, not a bad place, not like the big corporate where the bottom line is the only thing that matters, and assume that, have a great conversation of what their business is, later on you may be talking to somebody and you think, I know exactly the right person for what they need to solve their problem, and they'll put them in touch with you. And that's when the buy bit comes in, if that's the right thing for that person. And they'll be immensely grateful to you. You've had a really good conversation. There's been no pressure there whatsoever with the first person who started their business. And actually, you've really helped them. And everybody's helped each other and everybody has got to a better place. But the corporates are slightly different because they are very much about the bottom line. But if you know people who have their own small business, then please don't assume that they're always trying to make you buy every single time. That's not frequently not the case. In 99% of cases, that's not the case. So I hope that turns it around a bit for you and makes you a little bit more comfortable about the word to sell. And saying, I don't want to be in sales, actually to understand that you're doing that all the time, but in the nicest way. So I hope you found that interesting. That was my tip for the week. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mandy Crown of the Buzz Group, where you can be more. And people come to me when they realise they need to make changes in their life, for whatever reason. If they want to have quality time with the family in the years ahead, they know that something needs to change. So if that connects with you, then I'm offering a free 20-minute consultation to see if I can help you. Completely free, no obligation whatsoever. I'm also offering a free download of my ebook, which is 12 ways to have more guilt-free time with your family. Just go to the side of my Facebook page, which is the Buzz Group Be More, and click on the free ebook link, and you can download that for free. Now, next week, I'm actually going to be away in Scotland. It's my father-in-law's 90th birthday, so we're taking him flying around Scotland, all the places he used to live and work, and they're going to see some of the scenes and places he grew up. So I won't be around next week. It was just going to be too difficult doing this live at 10 o'clock, but I will be back in 2 weeks' time, where I'm going to be talking about flying, because of course I'm going to be flying next week. But again, it's not quite what you think. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time.